Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and discovering that every rupee in your wallet, every note in your savings account, every coin you've spent years collecting was suddenly worth absolutely nothing. Not less, not almost nothing, nothing. No one wanted it. No one trusted it. No one would trade for it. It sounds impossible. But for one community, that nightmare became reality. And what happened next revealed something surprising about wealth. The town had always seemed prosperous. People worked hard, businesses were busy, banks were full, families spent years building their savings. Many believed they were secure. After all, they had money, lots of it. And money, they thought, could solve almost any problem. Then everything changed. The crisis didn't arrive with a warning. There were no alarm bells, no dramatic announcement, just rumors at first. Whispers that the economy was struggling, whispers that prices were rising, whispers that people were beginning to lose confidence. Most ignored them. After all, things like that happen somewhere else, not here. At least, that's what everyone thought. Then one morning, people rushed to the banks. Long lines stretched around buildings. Parents, shopkeepers, workers, retirees. Everyone wanted the same thing, their money. But the banks couldn't provide it. Fear spread faster than any storm. Within days, prices exploded. Food that had cost a few coins suddenly cost hundreds, then thousands, then even more. People carried stacks of cash just to buy basic supplies. Some shopkeepers stopped changing their prices because they changed too quickly. Money was losing value almost by the hour. Think about that for a second. Imagine working your entire life to save for the future, only to watch those savings disappear while you stand helplessly and watch. Many families were devastated. People who had once been considered wealthy suddenly couldn't afford necessities. Their bank accounts looked large, but the numbers meant nothing. A lifetime of savings could no longer buy a decent meal. The rules everyone trusted had broken, and nobody knew what would happen next. But that's when something unexpected happened. While some people panicked, others adapted. A carpenter began repairing furniture in exchange for food. A farmer traded vegetables for clothing. A mechanic fixed tools for neighbors who could provide supplies. A teacher offered lessons in exchange for meals. Without realizing it, the community began creating a different kind of economy. Not one built on currency, one built on value. And value, it turned out, was very different from money. The carpenter still had his skills. The farmer still had his land. The mechanic still knew how to repair machines. The teacher still had knowledge. Those things hadn't disappeared. The crisis had taken away currency, but it couldn't take away ability. And that's where the story becomes fascinating. People began asking a new question. Not, how much money do you have? But, what can you do? Suddenly, the most valuable people weren't always the richest. They were the most resourceful. The people who could solve problems, grow food, repair equipment, build things, teach others, care for neighbors. The community slowly discovered that wealth came in many forms, and some forms were impossible to print, inflate, or lose overnight. Families shared resources. Neighbors helped one another. Skills were exchanged. Meals were shared. People who had almost nothing often gave the most. And somehow, despite the hardship, the community survived. Not because they had money, because they had each other. That's the part I can't stop thinking about. The crisis revealed what had always been true. The money wasn't the foundation. The people were. Years later, many would remember the day money became worthless. Not because of what they lost, but because of what they learned. They learned that savings can disappear. Markets can fail. Currencies can change. But character remains. Knowledge remains. Relationships remain. Skills remain. Those things continue creating value long after money loses its meaning. And perhaps that's the real lesson. True wealth isn't always the number in a bank account. Sometimes true wealth is the ability to help others, to adapt, to create, to learn, to work together. Because when everything else falls apart, those are the riches that still remain.